Tuesday, February, 13th? The day before Valentine's Day. Oh, hearts be still. Welcome to the Damon Bruce Show. Welcome to the Damon Bruce Podcast. No matter how or where or when you're listening, thank you so much for coming back and hanging out again. I got to tell you, it's been a crazy couple of weeks. Obviously, Vegas is, it's a city without clocks. Time stands still there. And then you come back. You get ready, you sit down, you watch a Super Bowl, everybody gets angry. Monday was a huge stressful day. You had a router crash in Kruger's studio, which turned Monday's Damon Bruce Show into a default 49er, well, it's not called 49er Wake Up, can't call it that, but a wake up show with yours truly and Larry, and it's just been, there's a lot of moving parts, right? I finally got a good night's sleep. On Monday night. I finally got a good night's sleep. I understand some of you 49ers fans, you probably have not slept well yet. And today, it's good to just be here with us. It really is. Like, Plus Army, assemble. It is good to see you. Good to see so many regular names in the chat. A chat that's not being overrun with all of Kruger's viewers and listeners, so I can see y'all standing out here. Otis, rockin' New Era, good to see you guys. Albert, Michelle, everybody, great to see all of you. Postman, it's good. AJ, man, it's good to see y'all. Feels like it's been a while since we've been able to just hang out, just us. So thank you for being back here once again. I'll tell you, 49er fatigue, Super Bowl loss fatigue, it's real. My views cratered. Like every 49er fan is like, I'm getting people unsubscribing, not because they don't like the channel or their content, because I just think they need a little break from the 49ers. It's a rough way for a otherwise spectacular football season to end. There's not a lot of sympathy in the world. I know this. I'm an incredibly unsympathetic figure myself, and I wouldn't have it any other way. And Kyle Shanahan is a wildly unsympathetic figure unto himself, and I'm sure he wouldn't have it any other way. But we're going to begin today's show, and we got a lot to get into, a lot of other things as we move out of football season into the fact that, oh my God, like pitchers and catchers are reporting this week, and it is officially now basketball season for us to pay attention to. And the good news is the Warriors are starting to point their ship at least in the right direction temporarily, and that's good. We're going to get into a whole bunch of stuff here, but I want to start just talking to Kyle. This is for you, Kyle. Sit down, have a drink, put your feet up. We need to talk. Like the thumbnail says today, Kyle, hey, Kyle. Sorry, I'm a big South Park guy to this day. Kyle, we got to talk about Kyle. By the way, sip of the day right there, right off the rip. That was a really good one. Let's be honest. Okay, Kyle. Hi. It's Damon again. Have you lost weight? And I don't mean that in a healthy way. I mean, it looks like you haven't been eating. It's time to get yourself a good meal. It's time to get yourself a booked flight the hell out of America. It's time to separate yourself from all of this. Kyle, you're a fabulous football coach. Really, I mean, any way you want to measure it. Any way you want to measure it, Kyle Shanahan, you are really good. You're truly outstanding at this. You really are. And you stand out above so many of your peers. You really are right at the head of the class. The only guy in the league who seems to have your number is Andy Reid, and there's really no shame in that because Andy Reid has got an awful lot of numbers on his pelts. He does. He owns an awful lot of ownership in terms of rivalry and who he goes out and beats with his quarterback, Patrick Mahomes. Again, he's got a lot of guys' numbers, not just yours, Kyle. What I really believe, though, as we already start thinking about what is next, and there's a draft and then a free agent signing period, and we all know how the NFL offseason works. It's a drum. It never stops. Kyle, I really think you got too much on your plate. I really think you got too much on your plate. And if we're being totally honest, I think you've handled an awful lot of the stuff on your plate very, very well. What I would like, though, is to just get one thing off your plate. And you can choose what that thing is. But I think less is more for you going forward, Kyle. I really believe that. You have a reputation of making very, very good hires. You have a robust staff of know how to do it around you, and maybe it's time to cede a little more power to them, a little less maniacal control for yourself in the name of just focusing on what's important, and that is coaching this team. Whether it be, college scouting, grinding collegiate tape, grinding tape on prospects and free agencies, meetings, too many meetings, I don't know, use the right hires you make to your advantage. And what I really want you to do here, Kyle, is there's a draft, and I want you to be less involved than ever before. I know that sounds crazy, and I know it sounds foreign, and I know that it sounds like something you're immediately going to say, nah, I'm not going to make it less involved. As a matter of fact, we got a Super Bowl to still go win. I got to work harder than ever. No, I don't think so. I think you actually need to back off just a little. I think you need to back off for your own health, your mental health, the stress of this all. I want Kyle Shanahan, more than anything else, to take a long, long, long break from football. Seriously, this guy has been grinding as hard as possible since the day he got the job, and with expectations through the roof since the 2019 season. It's just, he has been on the job about as hard as anybody can be on the job. I really want Kyle to take a long, long break from football. I want him to get rid and away from all the noise. I want him to get rid and away from all the social media and all the trappings of NFL questions and press conferences and attention. It's suffocating. It really, really is. Hit the beach with your wife and kids, put your phone in a sock drawer, get in the ocean, and don't come out for a month. Enjoy yourself. When's the last time you think Kyle Shanahan sat back and put his feet up and had a really fun night where he didn't think about football, where he wasn't worried about what was coming next or who the next opponent was going to be? Kyle needs a break. We all need breaks, right? We all need breaks. Kyle, probably more than anybody in the NFL, needs a little break from the NFL. And I think it would do him an awful lot of good. Look, the pressure of the Trey Lance draft pick alone and all the scrutiny that came with it would be enough to break most men. It really would be. You then compound all that with the pressure of 2 Super Bowl appearances, the weight of 2 losses just upon your shoulders, all those NFC title games in a row. It's got to be overwhelming. And again, I was awfully hard on Kyle yesterday, rightfully so. You do get an awful lot of darts thrown at you when you lose another big game. But the truth is, other teams in the NFL, and this is where we talk about how the adult is the least served sports fan in the world. We're about to have a little adult conversation here. Other teams in the NFL would absolutely kill for Kyle's level of disappointment. I almost called it failure, but really it's not failure. Because if losing the Super Bowl, as unsatisfying as it is labeled a failure, then what are the other teams who don't even get to the playoffs? What are they? You have to be measured among the group that surrounds you. And Kyle has taken his group, his team, and the cream has risen to the very top, except that final step that is a championship. But he is right there. And it's hard to run it all back. It's hard to stay on the grind all these years in a row. You can say, well, the loss is motivation. Look, if losing big games was motivation to win one, Kyle would have won one by now. It's happened too many times for anyone to have it sit comfortable. But he is, if we're being totally honest, he's great at this. He's awesome at this. He is state of the art. It just sucks. Absolutely sucks the way it all ends again. But today, 48 hours away from the disappointment of Sunday, a little perspective does settle into the conversation. I'm going to tell you right now, like the three biggest galactic losers in football are the Jets, the Bears, and the Raiders. I mean, they really are. These are teams that would kill for the level of disappointment that 49ers fans have experienced over the last few years. Josh Dubow, who writes for the AP, dropped a little Dubow bomb, and I thought that this was really interesting. The 49ers have won 17 playoff games since their last Super Bowl title. That's tied for the fourth most in football since the 1995 season. That's pretty impressive. Even though there is no Lombardi trophy to show for it, the fourth most playoff wins belong to the 49ers. And there was an awful lot of years there where they were lost in the woods. So Kyle has collectively put together the vast majority of those playoff wins. The next most wins for a team without a Super Bowl title in that span is the Panthers, who only have 9 playoff wins. Again, the 49ers, 17 playoff wins since their last Super Bowl. Over the same time, the next best without a Super Bowl title is the Panthers with 9. And that just shows you that anyone can, no, I mean, not anyone, but the best thing that Kyle's got going for him here is that his success is not a flash in the pan. It has been repeatable over and over and over again. We see this team as a contender. We see this team as they're still coming. And that is a credit to Kyle. It's a credit to the talent. It's a credit to the way that this team was built. And this is about to be a little bit of a rough and tumble offseason. A lot of bills that were pushed off into the future are going to come home. A couple of tough choices are going to have to be made on this roster. But all things considered, as disappointing as this whole thing ultimately feels and is, it's still pretty damn good. It is still pretty damn good. And 49ers fans, go back to Chip Kelly. Go back to Jim Tomsula. Go back to Dennis Erickson, if you're old enough to think of those days. Go back to Mike Nolan, for God's sakes. The level of disappointment that you feel right now is the envy of any other team not named the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, that's really what the 49ers live in. That's their world. And it's really disappointing, and it totally sucks to see it all go down. And that really was, in my opinion, the most painful, the worst loss maybe in franchise history. Really. A buddy of mine who is a true son of San Francisco, a generational San Franciscan, who is the biggest Giants, Warriors, Niners fans you're ever going to meet in your life. My buddy Phil Spiegel, he actually runs the Holbrook House at the atrium down there on Market Street. He's a great bar owner. He is a man about town. My guy, Phil Spiegel, the greatest living USF Don there is outside of Bill Cartwright. He sent me a text. The top 5 Bay Area losses of all time, the most painful list. Number 1, he has the 2002 World Series Game 6, the dropped ball. Number 2, the 2016 NBA Finals Game 7, LeBron. Number 3, this Super Bowl. Number 4, Roger Craig fumbling the NFC Championship game in 1991. And at number 5, he's got the Niners and Seahawks championship loss, which a lot of you know is the Navarro Bowman knee game, where he got his knee folded in the wrong direction. So, I've been covering the 49ers for the last 20 years. Phil has been a 49er fan for his entire life, for the last 50, right? And he's got that Super Bowl loss on Sunday as the worst loss in 49ers franchise history. And I'll take his word for it. And I would agree. That was rough. That was really, really rough because it was right there. It was right there to be taken. Oh, that is tough. That is tough. Kyle, get away. Kyle, take a break. As soon as you can get the hell away from your football team, get the hell away from your football team, and it's going to be the best thing for you and your team. Separate. Take a break. Have all of your lieutenants do lieutenant shit. Have every single person that you've hired that you trust do their job. Come on back in a few weeks from now, pick up their work, read it, and then make your decisions from there. But the grind has got to be suffocating for this man. So a little sympathy for the world that Kyle Shanahan is living in. Hey, Kyle, you want to have the attack? I mean it. Poor guy. I mean, it's as bad as you can feel for a millionaire, right? It's been rough, man. It's been brutal. Been brutal, 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 brutal. Andre Thompson saying, hey, Damon, the Kyle Williams fumble was bad. Don't you have another punt fumble that's even worse than that now? Ugh. Ugh. That was rough. That was rough. So we're going to give you some odds to let you know what kind of pressure the 49ers will be facing as soon as next year begins here in a second. But odds on are you are about to have a little lunch. And what I want you to do in your little lunch is to make it a big lunch with a big sandwich that is delicious. Get yourself to Ike's. My man has got an app. You need to download it. If you've been downloading it through the playoffs, you have already earned a free sandwich with all of his membership rewards points that he's been giving out for every point that the 49ers have scored in the postseason. Get yourself that Ike's app. Get yourself a sandwich today. Order one either at the restaurant or have it delivered to you. If you are in charge of ordering office lunch, back to the office, need some lunch for the entire office, check out Ike's Catering. Put a Damon Bruce in your mouth, which is what I tell everyone. And you'll be very happy that you did. My man Ike has nothing but delicious waiting for you in every single one of his restaurants. So go get yourself some delicious with my man Ike. I want to give one more final huge thank you to Dr. Paul Hughes, who was sponsoring Postgame and Damon for the second half of this football season. And without him, it would have stunk to done those. It would have stunk doing the shows without a sponsor that I really believe in, because Dr. Paul Hughes has fixed my knee in an incredible fashion without surgery. Go to orthopedicsurgeries.com if you want to avoid an orthopedic surgery. My man, Dr. Paul Hughes, has got offices in San Mateo, satellite offices throughout the Bay Area. Info at orthopedicsurgeries.com. Use the code word Hunter for 50% off your procedure, which can make you feel lickety-split better. I'm telling you. And because on Friday in Las Vegas, we didn't do a good for ball, bad for ball segment, just some love for Uncle Boys, because we got love for Uncle Boys, who remains a sponsor of the Friday good for ball, bad for ball segment here on the Plus. And since we didn't squeeze one in, a little extra love for Uncle Boys as we get back into our normal schedule now that football's over, now that traveling's over, now that remote shows are over. So just a little love, Uncle Boys, for you, my good friends. You want odds? Here are the odds that Kyle is going to be facing an awful lot of pressure right away, once again, for sure, for real. The Kansas City Chiefs are going off at 5-1 as the favorite to win next year's Super Bowl. And then it's the 49ers at 6-1. The Lions are 7-1. The Ravens are going off at 12-1. The Bills are 14-1. Bengals, Packers 16-1. Cowboys, Dolphins, and Eagles are all at 18-1. Raiders fans 75-1. The longest odds out there are the Carolina Panthers at 150-1. The 49ers are going to step right into next season as one of the favorites to win it all. So to say that the pressure is going to never end is a huge understatement. And really for Kyle, who does have an awful lot of job security, rightfully so, he can't regress. If you're wondering how could Kyle's job security become something other than secure, it would be with a regression. Get to the playoffs, lose in the first round, whenever your first round is. Not make the playoffs. That would be, uh-oh. But as long as this guy's in NFC championship games and as long as this guy's making Super Bowl appearances, he's doing his job. It might not be the satisfying ending. It might not be the, he did this, therefore I don't like them, Kyle's got to go. It's not happening. So come on over to the reality that this situation lives in. As long as Kyle doesn't regress, he's not going anywhere. And as long as he doesn't regress, that means that this team is going to be on the precipice of a championship year after year after year. And the only way to ask for more than that is to say, give me the Lombardi trophy. Give me the thing that everybody wants. Kyle is coming close. He's working hard. And again, there's no sympathy for Kyle. I'm not giving him much sympathy, but the man deserves a tip of the cap and a little bit of a hug. If we're being totally honest, he really does. He really does. Sporticus, always an adult in the room, saying Kyle's future does not reside in losing big games. It resides in his failure to change the things that cause those losses. Failure to learn is failure to grow. All true. All true. He's got to get better. He just needs to lighten up. Again, a month on a beach, I think, will help him lighten up. It's suffocating. It's suffocating, the pressure that this guy has been under. He was just the star, or one of the stars, one of the main characters in the most watched television show of all time, much less just a football game. And it sucks that the 49ers are getting that bridesmaid's reputation, right? The NFC title games fell short. 3 Super Bowl losses now in 3 appearances for the 49ers. Their last 3 appearances after being undefeated in their first 5 Super Bowls, they've lost 3 in a row, and that hurts. It's a hard pill to swallow for the fans, for the organization, because now you start getting lumped into, all right, well, how many teams have actually gone to and lost 3 Super Bowls in a row, whether they be in consecutive years or not? How many teams get to appear in the Super Bowl and have a 3-game losing streak in the big game? It's not a list you want to be on. It's the Bills, the Vikings, the Broncos, and the Bengals. Now, the Bills have never won a Super Bowl. The Vikings have never won a Super Bowl. The Cincinnati Bengals have never won a Super Bowl. The Denver Broncos have. But you're on that list of, you don't want to be with this list. You don't want to be at the mutant, the mutants at table 9. You don't want to be there. 123.4 million people watched the Super Bowl, the most watched football game of all time, the most watched television show of all time. And people saw the 49ers lose that. The whole world was leaning forward into the 49ers losing that Super Bowl. So this bridesmaid reputation, and it's not something you should ever be comfortable with. The 49ers were known for winning Super Bowls. Now they're being known as, the team that you make fun of for kind of losing Super Bowls. It's brutal out there on those streets, folks. It is. Nielsen said that a record 202.4 million watched at least a part of the game across all networks. It's a 10% jump over last year's figure. So football is king. Absolute king of the entire, not just sports world, but the television world. Let's be honest, the television world is our world. So unbelievable stress and pressure. And oh, by the way, I thought this was sort of an interesting note too, because you might have learned that, you know how much Usher got for his roller skating party that he threw at halftime? $0. The NFL does not pay its performing artists at the Super Bowl. But what do you get? It's sort of like when I go on KPIX. They're not paying me for that. What they're telling me is enjoy the exposure. Well, I don't think I'm getting quite the exposure that Usher got. Usher earned the equivalent of $52.5 million of exposure for his performance, according to Apex Marketing, which they told Front Office Sports. But that's amazing. Over $100 million, nearly $500 million of marketing for Usher, who's just released an album. His numbers are climbing up, all sorts of downloads and Spotify's, and there's a lot of, kids who might not have been around 20 years ago for Take That, Rewind It Back, Me and Ludacris, Make the Booty Go. Well, they know it now. That was a great song. It really was. So Usher, he's a winner, right? It's kind of ballsy to go out on roller skates in front of the world. You could totally wipe out. Even good roller skaters wipe out on roller skates. This is going to be a different looking football team next time you look at the 49ers. There's some tough choices coming up. I saw Al Sacco today put out next year's cap hits. You got Trent Williams coming in number one on the team, $31.5 million for your left tackle. That's an expensive left tackle. Deebo Samuel making $28.6 million. That's an awful lot of money for a guy who didn't do shit in a Super Bowl. Armstead, $28.3 million. Warner, $24.4 million. And he's going to make every penny of that because his running mate as a linebacker, Dre Greenlaw, is not going to be healthy at the beginning of next year. George Kittle, $21.9 million. Mooney Ward, $17.9 million. Hargrave, $15.4 million. Bosa, $14.6 million. And that is going to grow in a couple years to a $42 million cap hit. It's going to more than double. Christian McCaffrey making $14.1 million. And there is Brandon Ayuk making $14.1 million next year. Now, when you talk about all those numbers and the ability to round out the rest of your roster, somebody on that list isn't going to be on this team next year. Somebody's got to go to make room to fill out a roster. It's going to be a tough choice. Now, Brandon Ayuk's brother is already on Instagram saying maybe it's going to be us, right? Brandon Ayuk's brother on Instagram, angrily reacting to the Super Bowl outcome, says, "This is why we out of SF. Why does an all-pro 1,300-yard receiver get 3 catches? Thanks for drafting my bro. Forever grateful. We on to Vegas." So he's already got Brandon Ayuk with the Raiders. Is that just an angry brother? Is that marching orders from Brandon Ayuk to start the public negotiations? I don't think Brandon Ayuk's going anywhere. If I'm the 49ers, I'm not letting Brandon Ayuk go anywhere. If I'm the 49ers, I would call Brandon Ayuk's brother and be like, "Hey, dude, shut the fuck up. Your brother has gone from doghouse to hell of a player on this team. It's not the right time to be walking away from a quarterback who loves you." It's not like the 49ers decided to freeze Brandon Ayuk out of the Super Bowl. The Kansas City Chiefs, Steve Spagnuolo, and their all-pro secondary did that. So everyone needs to calm down, especially Brandon Ayuk's brother, just a little bit. So there you go. First half hour of the show, all football, all reaction, all love for Kyle Shanahan. It could use a little love thrown his way, right? I mean, this is a really good football coach. He's a really good football coach. The only thing he's guilty of is being so close to the brass ring without being able to actually grab it. It's tough. It's tough out there. Again, this is the kind of stuff we don't need on the channel. Javier, thanks for watching. Javier Ibanez, Kyle is trash. No, he's not. No, he's not. Kyle has yet to win a Super Bowl. But saying that he is trash, you're telling the entire world you don't even know what you're looking at. Javier, you don't even know what you are looking at. Urban Meyer with the Jacksonville Jaguars. That's trash. Chip Kelly with the 49ers. That was trash. Kyle Shanahan isn't trash. I was hard on him yesterday. I was hard than I have ever been. You didn't hear me call him trash not once. You got to have a little perspective. You got to have a little perspective. And it's hard when you're emotional and in the moment. You know, Kyle didn't know the overtime rules. Well, you listened to it the day after, and it appears that he did know the rules. But where I think the flaw is he really believed that having the third possession of overtime was more important. Well, all I would tell you is that, yeah, should you actually reach the third possession of overtime, it is very important. But you can't prioritize the thing that might not even be coming up. Yeah, I mean, that to me is the mistake and the fatal flaw in Kyle's overtime strategy, which maybe he was explaining away, trying to pretend that he knew the rule. I don't know. But, you know, don't worry about C. Worry about A and B. A, B, C. C can't be the priority in ABC. It just can't. So, you know, trying to explain it away, his rationale as to why he took the ball first. I don't know how much I believe it. And I certainly don't think he was right. And what's crazy is the people who are like online or telling me or reacting to some videos that have already gone up saying, oh no, Kyle got that right. Kyle played it right. If he played it right, how come the Kansas City Chiefs are the fucking champions of the world and you're not? How did he play that right? Come on. Like, let's not make total excuses here. I mean, he did not play that right. Even if he did, even if you can find the mathematical formula to show that he did, he played it right, everybody. You lost. So how right was it? How right was it? I can't believe this. The San Francisco Giants have actually done something. Oh my goodness, right in time for spring training about to begin. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for the Jorge Soler Era? He turns 32 later this month, and he is a San Francisco Giant. Hit 36 home runs. Had an adjusted OPS plus of 128 last season. He made his first career All-Star game appearance, and the Giants need him to do that again and then some. This was a team that was 19th in the majors in home runs last year. It is a 3-year, $42 million deal for the guy who the Marlins mostly used as a DH. There will be strikeouts. There will be strikeouts, but as long as there are a lot of home runs, maybe it's a good move. In 870 games played over 10 seasons in the majors, he has 927 strikeouts, 170 homers. Look, this guy led the American League in home runs back in 2019. So he's got real power. He's got real power. And the Giants don't, but for Jorge Soler. So, you know, your entire offseason is Soler and Jung-Hoo Lee from Korea, who's never played a single inning of Major League Baseball. So good luck with that. Pitchers and catchers have their first workout on February 15th. Full squad reports on February 20th. Spring training game, first one against the Cubs, is Saturday, February 24th. Lawn seats available at Scottsdale Stadium for $32. You get to pay $32 to sit on a lawn and have the right to pay the Giants $18 for every beer you drink. Look, I love spring training conceptually. If there were every year to skip spring training as a Giants fan, it's got to be this one. Who are you really excited about at spring training? Logan Webb. Okay. I mean, this team is This team's lacking a little everything. But spring training's coming. It's officially coming. We actually have the Golden State Warriors officially on the move here. And it's officially now basketball season that the 49ers are done. So we got basketball season. It's official. Normally it starts around Christmas, but the team that you cover goes to a Super Bowl. That means you're going to delay the start of basketball season. And the delay of me leaning into Warriors games is probably very good for them because I would have most likely skinned them alive by now. But they have saved their best for right now. I really leaned in and watched the hell out of that game against the Utah Jazz on Monday night, and they played very well, and they are over 500 for the very first time since Christmas. How about that? Very first time since Christmas. They're over 500. They've won 5 in a row in 7 of their last 8 games. They've also won 3 straight road games by at least 20 points, and that's just the second time they've done that in franchise history. That's pretty amazing, right? I don't think anyone's calling the Warriors an amazing basketball team, but they're starting to play better. They're starting to play together, and their roles feels like they're starting to be figured out. And what do you know? If you want to get normal, get Draymond Green back into the mix. Since Draymond Green's returned, he has ignited a better brand of offense, a more efficient level of offense. You got your points per possession up. You've got your points allowed per possession down. You've got your points per 100 possessions up. You got your points allowed per 100 possessions down. All the efficiency numbers are all trending in the right direction. And it's all of a sudden the Golden State Warriors are starting to get a lot better. Gary Payton's back in the mix. Clay stopped being a Debbie Downer at every single moment when you looked at him, sort of embracing his new reality. But the single biggest development is that Jonathan Kuminga has finally turned, instead of being the clumsy puppy with the big paws, Jonathan Kuminga has turned into a dog. He is this team's second best player right now. He truly is. And, they're going to get CP3 back here at some point in time. They're starting to figure it out. And there's really no time like the present to do that because they're running out of basketball season to figure things out. As a matter of fact, the All-Star game is February 18th, which means the Warriors will host the Clippers on Valentine's Day. Very romantic. And then they're back in Utah the day after Valentine's Day, February 15th. And that wraps up the first part of the season before the All-Star break. And then when the All-Star break is over, folks, it is a 29-game sprint to the finish. And the Warriors in their final 29 games are going to have to, if they're going to get a decent seed or be a playoff anything, an entity in any way, they're going to have to catch a heater. They're going to have to play really, really well down the stretch here. Can you go 20-9? Can you do something like that? Can you win 2 out of 3 the rest of the way? We'll see. Again, they're playing better defense. The offense is moving more efficiently. Steph Curry's been here all year. The rest of the Warriors have not. It feels like the rest of the Warriors are starting to show up again. And this is how older teams operate. This is how older teams look. Older teams that have won titles, they lurk. The Warriors have spent way too much of the year just lurking, hanging around, not really doing anything special. If they got anything special, if they got a special capability in them, and special for the Warriors has moved on the Special Warriors sliding scale. Special Warriors used to mean NBA finalist. Now just become a playoff team. Let's see if you can get that. Let's see what they can do. I'm in. What else are we doing? We got no football. For the longest amount of time, we're not going to have any football all year. So you might as well lean into the Golden State Warriors. You might as well lean into the fact that baseball's about to get here. I don't believe the Sharks are even still a franchise. I'm pretty sure they have stopped playing hockey altogether. In more proof that people just don't know how to act, right? Just do not know how to act. Did you see that the Phoenix Open is officially in the folks you done took that too far category of life of its existence now? The Phoenix Open used to be a great place to have an awful lot of fun, get drunk on a golf course with your friends, and it got way too far down the road of frat house party. And apparently this year's Phoenix Open's reputation outdid itself. Everyone got out of control. The fact that it was raining in Phoenix meant everyone was drunk and, bottled up in congested cart paths, and there were fights, and there were players yelling at fans and fans yelling at players, and not just the like the on the 16th hole there where they build a stadium. No. Like, it was going nuts everywhere to the point where they cut beer sales off somewhere on the course, certain spots on the course that were getting too hairy. And they basically said, hey, even if you got a ticket, you're not allowed in right now. We are at max capacity. Post-pandemic, if given the chance to ruin something, people will. People forgot how to act. Like, pre-pandemic world, you could get drunk in public and it was okay. Post-pandemic world, people just don't know what to do anymore. Crowds, booze, and desire to be on that gram make it all toxic, doesn't it? It's nuts. Absolutely nuts. Again, what we want to do at the Phoenix Open is have more fun than any golf event in the world. All right, you douchebags ruined it. We can't have nearly as much fun next year. They're talking about all kinds of different measures being invoked for the next Waste Management Phoenix Open. The other thing that happened while I was in Las Vegas that was officially big news that had we not had the 49ers in the Super Bowl, we would have talked about, is this last subject of today's show here. I'm sure you've seen by now that the Sportszilla is coming, the juggernaut, the app to end all apps, or streaming service to end all streaming service. Disney, Fox, and Warner Brothers are going to launch what they're going to be calling, the biggest sports streamer. They don't have an official name for it yet. But in this article that I saw about it, written in Sports Business Journal, they're calling it Sportszilla. Here's what Sportszilla is going to have. It's going to have a wide range of broadcasting rights for pro and college sports, including NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball, FIFA, and some combat sports. It's going to be an all-in-one bundling of whatever replaces the current Disney-owned sports streamer ESPN Plus, along with all the other dedicated sports channels owned by these companies. And it's going to be available bundling Max Plus Sportszilla package. It's going to be it's basically cable television is what it is. We drifted so far away from cable television. Everyone's like, oh, we need to go back to the way things were, but we can't do that. So let's have something that will resemble the way things were. Ridiculous. You could see it coming, though, right? You could see it coming. So there you go. I think that's all the news that's fit to print here on a glorious Tuesday, day before Valentine's Day. Get that bouquet. Get the chocolates. Do something. Is it Valentine's Day performative? You bet your ass it is, but you don't want to be caught without doing a Valentine's Day performance for the person that you love. You got to do a little something. I'm going to sneak out today under the guise of, Julian, I got to go do something. What I'm going to do is pick up a little box of chocolates, a little bouquet of flowers. I'm going to pop them in the refrigerator. I hope she's not watching. I'm going to pop them in the refrigerator that we got down here in the basement. She's not going to open it between now and Valentine's Day. And tomorrow morning, when she wakes up, the bouquet of flowers. And there you go. There's your happy Valentine's Day. Just a little something. Just a little effort. Gotta make a little effort. So look, it's been a hell of a couple weeks, hasn't it? It's been a hell of a couple weeks. Thanks so much to the members who are supporting this channel. Every single day you have a membership, you're supporting this channel, and I thank you very much, as does Sports Bane. I'm sure you'll be hearing from him soon. I want to thank everyone who is, dropping super chats over here. And if you don't want to do that, just like and subscribe, my good friends. Like and subscribe. That would be an awful great way to help this channel, because now you're going to find out what the Plus is all about, right? We gained a little traction here during football season. We're going to keep growing this thing, knowing that the attention that comes with the NFL won't just be easily grabbable anymore. You're going to find out why it's called Damon Bruce Plus, not just Damon Bruce Sports. We need to do some things that are officially creative and different and highlighting things in the Bay Area that I've always found interesting that might not be from the world of sports. So there's going to be an awful lot of reasons to lean in and watch what we're doing over the next few months between now and next football season. So I hope you plan on sticking around. I really do. You've all been an incredible audience. You've been an incredible community that we've put together. And I want you to keep your eyes on this channel, because we are soon to announce Plus Mania 3, The Revenge. Details are being discussed. Dates are being circled. And you will know all about it before the end of this week. I promise you. As a matter of fact, Sports Bane may be making a special announcement about it to members only until we get into, we'll put it out in the general population. But this is the privilege of being a member. You get to know things first. So, man, oh, man, oh, man. Thank you for being a part of this. Thank you very much for downloading the podcast, which is done incredibly well throughout the Super Bowl run. Thank you so much for listening, for watching, for supporting, for commenting, for liking, for subscribing, for becoming a member. No matter how you support this, it means an awful lot to me and my family, and I thank you very much. And what we're going to do is slip into a little Club Plus for the rest of everyone who wants to hang out here a little longer. We're going to keep on doing it. We got some super chats to read. We got a whole bunch of chats here, and we're going to go. Are you ready? You feeling frisky? Good. Sports don't build character. They reveal it. And like that, he's gone. It's been a while since I plugged the disco light in. I lost the track of the damn... Where's the plug? There it is. Got it. Boom. Yeah. Oh, here, let's turn this down. Let's make this a sexy Club Plus, shall we? Hold on. Ooh. Too sexy? Yeah, that's not sexy. That's dark. That's darker. Better? No. Sexier? Yes. There we go. How about that? It's a party. All right, my friends, we're going to start with some super chats who came in earlier in the show. I saw them. There are head coaches who are get you there guys. Then there's a head coach to get you over the hump guys. We know which one Kyle is. We simply don't want to accept it. I don't think there is a guy who can come in here and get it done beyond Bill Belichick, and nobody else has hired him, and I don't think that the 49ers are about to hire him. So, Jay Marr, all I can tell you is that I truly hope this isn't a Mark Jackson situation where you then need to bring the next guy, Steve Curran, to take you over the hump. I do think Kyle's going to figure this out. I really do. I believe that Kyle Shanahan will win a Super Bowl. The question is, will it be in a 49ers uniform or as the head coach of another team? I don't think he's going anywhere. So if you're saying that I'm tired of watching him eat apples, I don't want him to get another bite at it, he's not going anywhere. So I'm telling you, if you got a major problem with Kyle Shanahan as the head coach of the 49ers, it's time for you to find a new team, because the 49ers will not be finding a new head coach anytime soon. He's got the job. He remains in the job. It's hard to preach patience, but that's what it is. Anthony, Kyle's biggest con as head coach is situational football. I think there are times when situational football does matter. What matters more is just going with what works. And I do think Kyle pinions himself under the concept of too clever or setting things up. You don't need to set up something when things are working. You really don't. And I think that Kyle gets away from what's working in the name of, let me show you this other stuff. And he needs to show us the other stuff less and what's working more. Spend free agents on wide receivers and offensive line, not defensive tackles who rotate. James W.F. I will agree with that. And it is time for this team to spend. How about this? Offensive linemen, couple of wide receivers, someone else to play in that secondary. And that's pretty much what you're looking at. Defensive line, you're going to have to hit on a couple of those picks too, because you already spent all that money on Bosa and Armstead. So it's time. Albert, you're a smart fan. Fire Farhan. Oh. Apparently he's not going anywhere either, Albert. Farhan seems to have this job for whatever reason, and that just should tell you what the goal is here now. The goal is not to win. The goal is to just play. And the San Francisco Giants have no evidence that they could even come close to supporting that they're trying to win anything this year. They have absolutely become content with being as average as humanly possible. That stinks. It sucks. It does. What else we got going on here in the club today? Otis, you're right. You are right. Warriors are quietly playing good basketball. Alex says, cannot convince me to be excited about the Dubs or the Giants. This loss broke me until next year's NFL playoffs. Hug for you, Alex. I'm going to give you a big listener hug right there. Look, it was rough. It really was. Here's the deal. First name Stephen, last name Curry. Bring him into your life and everything is less blurry, right? Steph Curry's still the best watch in sports on nights where he is cooking, and he's been cooking lately. Cooking. Absolutely cooking. All you can hope for is, let's see if they're a playoff team. Again, we got to make adjustments. There's no such thing as,
and they contended forever. They never stopped becoming eventual champions.
That's not how it works, man. That's just not how it works. The Golden State Warriors have held on to their ability to contend for longer than most franchises will ever do it. Sometimes you got to put the big boy pants on and know that you are watching the end of something special. And that's what we are. We're at the end of something special with the Golden State Warriors. Their real chance to contend as a champion is probably already in their past. But with how much true competition and dignity can they lay this dynasty down is something that you should be interested in. I know I am. And you got one new guy who officially is starting to represent your future right now, and Rockanewer 84 is said it perfectly. Kuminga's coming along nicely. He really is. He really, really is. Chef A knows what I'm talking about. Go Dubs. Look at it this way. If you are just football and football only, the closest you're going to get to a football game between now and week 1 next year is whatever Madden you're playing. So it's time for us to turn our attention to somewhere else, and I can tell you that it's been an incredibly frustrating, mind-numbingly bad start to the year for the Warriors. The fact that they're playing good basketball right as we're about to lean into them is good for everybody. Good for everybody. And Albert, you're right. Good on Clay for kind of accepting the mortality that he was pretending wasn't happening early on in the year. You know, he was way too much Eeyore. Oh, poo. I don't like a depressed, I don't like a sullen Klay Thompson. I don't like a pouty Klay Thompson. And I think the Warriors walked up to him and told him, hey, we don't like this shit either, Klay. Like, get your dick out of your heart, realize the situation you're in, and start acting accordingly, man. Little stiff upper lip right here, right now. That's what you need. And when Clay has done that, I think he was their leading scorer last night. We got Fear the Phantom. Third time will be the charm. We lost the NFC title game to the Eagles, then we made it to the Super Bowl and lost. The only thing left in the pattern is winning the Super Bowl next year. I tell you, the only thing remaining for the Warriors under the current way this team is built is to win the Super Bowl next year, because after that, the championship window alters. I'm not going to say closes, but how you go about building your team is going to be a harder and harder thing for the 49ers to hold on to, because times are a-changing and guys are getting more expensive. So this is it. This is it. Damon, football. It's called the USL. No, it's not. Again, I'm talking about shopping at Neiman Marcus. You're trying to drag me into a flea mart. Come on. Flea market, not a flea mart. I mean, maybe it'll be interesting. Maybe it'll be interesting. But we'll see. We will see. Damon, TJD has the same shirt. So does everyone who went to Indiana. You'll notice that Indiana gear, we don't have like goofy mascots to put on anything. Every Indiana t-shirt there is says Indiana or Hoosiers, and that's it. It's a lot of, everyone who went to Indiana has got at least 12 of these. But of course, TJD has the same shirt. What's good is that TJD is playing well. He's playing well. He played well. He didn't play in the second half, or he didn't play in the first half. And then he needs to be part of this rotation. You basically got 2.5 big men. It's Draymond, it's TJD, and it's Looney. Oh, you hear that burp? There you go. Burp into the microphone. I used to tell Gianna, laugh into the mic. Burp into the mic. True Blue Forever. There's still hockey? No, there's not. Sport's gone. Doesn't even exist down in San Jose anymore. Oh, no. Daft King says, Damon, the only thing I have to look forward to about the Sharks is the NHL draft. And that's really rough, Daft King, because nobody looks forward to the NHL draft. No one. Not even people who are about to be drafted into the NHL. It just... the hockey used to matter an awful lot. And then all of a sudden it decided not to matter at all, just about anymore. Again, Daniel Shabazz sums it all up. Hockey schmocky. Thank you very much. Hockey schmocky. T from the 203. Again, he lives down in Miami, so he sees people acting a fool all the time. Post-pandemic world, hockey booze prices are an arm and a leg. I am out. Prices for everywhere are insane. Let me tell you. So you live in Nevada. Congratulations. You have a tax-free state to live in. They are charging more for cheeseburgers in Nevada than they are even in California. The food prices in Las Vegas just went through the roof. The cocktail prices in Las Vegas are through the roof. You want to pick up a round for you and 3 of your buddies? You're north of $100 everywhere you go. Bamboo Soldier's right about this. Common decency at an all-time low, no doubt about it. Rockin' Eastwood says it's because there's no penalty for acting up anymore. Send the Phoenix Open to Live. To LIV. Was it Live? Is it the nightclub? Yeah. It's slosh golf. Yeah, slosh golf. People don't know how to act around each other. People don't even know how to talk to each other when they're sober most of the part. You get everybody drinking and on top of each other. It's like a ticking time bomb. What else we got? How about a third-string Maryland defensive player who demanded $100,000 or they would transfer? I have not heard about that. I don't know what you're talking about, but you're third string. You're not worth $100,000. D. Bruce is live. Yes, we are, Mike Baker. It's good. It's good to be just hanging out here in Club Plus with you once again. It had been a long time since we settled into the club. A long time. Going along with the thumbnail. FUK. GV187. Yeah, no, Cartman had to make the thumbnail today. Ka. Yeah, ka. Damon, speaking of Max, have you had a chance to check out the new season of Curb? I watched the first episode. I got the rest on tape now. I don't know how many we're in. I was in Vegas last week. I missed it, but I'm into it. And I was into Night Country. I'm a big Jodie Foster fan. She's fantastic in it too. But in like Night Country, like all the True Detectives, it can't figure out if it wants to be about like a real crime story or if it wants to be about some mystical something. And like it's kind of losing me a little. Very eerie, very well done. It works on a lot of levels. But to me, there's always a warning sign in HBO shows. You want to know what the warning sign is? It's simply this. If there are 3 music montages in any 1 hour long HBO show, what they're telling you is that they had a 35-minute show that they're stretching. There have been 3 music montages in almost every episode of Night Country True Detective. It's a bit much. It's good. It's not great. It's good. That's as far as I can go. Here's a man who knows love. Bamboo Soldier. Gonna get some herb for my bong for Valentine's Day. Self-love. Self-love. That's good. Self-love. JJ Raider Ganja Jar. That's love. G-Man Music Disco Ball Time. Yeah. This is very nice. Look at this. This is from Sweet Mad Hatter. Be good on Valentine's Day, especially when you got a hot wife like you do, Damon. I did. I wrangled myself a winner. Absolute winner. Damon, what about just a rose and an empty blackened bottle from Sunday? Didn't finish it. As a matter of fact, it's right there. There's still a little remaining, but we're close to the end. Der Kaiser and Gilroy saying, Damon, Sportszilla doesn't have cricket or rugby. Hard pass. Yeah, here's the thing. If you got something that is sports, I'm probably going to buy it. Rock Eastwood, losing Giants, Damon, is world's best, Damon. I remember every day was a chuckle. Oh, man. We got Vicky. Vicky says, good seeing you, Damon. Oh, it's great seeing you, Vicky. Thank you very much. Can we get Damon trying to figure out Sharks drafting? We don't need that. No one wants that. No one would watch that, so we're not going to do that. Plus Mania 3. Now, there's something we can get behind. There's something we can get behind. It's going to happen soon. Announcement's coming. Plus Mania 3, The Revenge. It's going to be more, hopefully, than just me there. We're going to get as many good old-fashioned radio broken island of misfits toys as we can get there. Tito, or T.O., excuse me. Appreciate you, DB. Well, I appreciate you right back. Thanks so much for rolling along with us here on YouTube. We got Crazy Juice. Sup? What's up with you? T from the 203 says, did you see that Penn State is offering a Taylor Swift class? Hey, you know, when you're in college, you're allowed an elective or two. Have a little fun in college. I took a history of rock and roll class at IU. Go ahead. Look at it this way. That might as well be called Economics 101. What you're studying in Taylor Swift is the single most successful woman having the single most successful year maybe any woman on planet Earth has ever had. Like, there is something interesting to her. I know she's been overexposed and no 49er fan wants to hear another word about her, but that woman just basically conquered the globe and has reached that weird inflection point where her popularity is almost omnipotent. It's amazing. It's amazing what she has created for herself. Disco Lights, Stacy Leo. Thank you, Stacy. This is basically Studio 54 minus the blow and the booze. Hey, speak for yourself. I think we got both. No, I'm just kidding. No more cocaine. No more cocaine. You know what, everyone? Take that to heart. For you, no matter where you are, no more cocaine. It ain't good for you. We need the booze to get through our lives. The cocaine, don't need it. We got Padraig O'Byrne. Hello, Damon. How are you today, mate? See, you can't use the word mate unless your first name is Padraig. So thank you, Patty. Doing well. Doing good. Good to get back into normal rhythm. Rockin' Newer 84 is totally right. The vibes for the Warriors are different than last month. Vibes, baby. There's probably no sport in the world where vibes matters as much as in basketball. And the Warriors are vibing in the right direction for the first time since what? Their first 5 games of the year. Patrick again coming in here. Damon, how are you today, mate? Ireland scored 36 points against Italy in Dublin, 38 points against France. How many points do you think Ireland will score against Wales in Dublin? At least 37 points. I'm going to come in right between your two. I don't even know what we're fucking talking about. Is this rugby? Was this cricket? I don't know. Damon, this is why Bob left. Greedy Greg 415. He didn't want to make the hard decisions. Well, the decisions that the Warriors made at the trade deadline were pretty easy. They made no decisions. Going forward, though, yeah, tough decisions coming down. Tough decisions coming down for everyone. Postman. Oy, oy, oy! Wait, Damon, you're not excited for the United Football League? Not really. No. Not really. What else we got going on here in the Plus today? What else we got going on? I hope we can win the Super Bowl next season and then go for the 7th at home. Look at you already talking about Shanahan going back to back. See, that's the kind of enthusiasm everyone needs. Irwin, TJD. TJD is instant coffee. Add minutes. He's ready to serve. That's what I'm talking about. That's great. That's great, Irwin. Thank you. Der Kaiser says, Damon, TJD has been everything you've advertised. I'm telling you, you don't leave Indiana as one of its all-time greatest players and not be able to play. That's kind of the way it works. Joe Schmo. Damon, rep that college gear. Here's the thing. If I didn't, we'd be doing this show half naked. I mean, let's just a nice round number. Let's say I had 20 T-shirts. 13 of them say Indiana or Hoosiers somehow, some way on it. Hand Banana says, I'd rather go to an Earthquakes game than Sharks or Giants at this point. Look, I'd still rather go to a Giants game because what you do get, here's the thing, the Giants might suck, but at least you get about as gorgeous of a baseball field as ever has been conceived. I mean, the only time I don't get mad at the Giants is when I'm actually at the game. And I don't get mad at the Giants because I just work here. I get mad at the Cubs. God damn it. LIV. That's right. LIV, the heavily loaded golf league funded by the Saudis. That's what LIV meant. I see. By the way, that's how great LIV is, right? You can say it. It's been around for a while. I still don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Like LIV. Ugh, who cares? Who cares? Chef A says, Las Vegas, I read an article saying it's no longer a cheap city to either stay or eat in. Gone are the cheap meals, the buffets, and the hotel rooms. You can still get a decent price on hotel rooms, but yeah, it's no longer like, oh, prime rib and lobster buffet for $1.99. Like, no. Yeah, all that is out the door. Don't forget to bring a towel. Never. Cartman is one of the greatest TV characters of all time. Super Mayo. I completely agree. You know what Cartman is? He's basically the modern animated equivalent of Archie Bunker. He really is. Everybody's favorite anti-Semitic, racist rapscallion. He's hysterical. I mean, South Park to me is just absolutely hysterical. It's some of the single greatest satire ever. It really is. It's one of the best mirrors ever held up to modern society. South Park is unafraid, and that's to me why I always like it. Stacy Leo says, my son calls me ma'am in Cartman voice. Yeah. SF Indigo, who used to be known as Baron Red over here, says Valentine's Day is my birthday, turning 43 years old. Happy birthday. Remind me tomorrow. We'll put on a little hat for you and we'll officially celebrate. It's an OG Plusser right there. You get the hat. KB Toy Stores. By the way, I used to love KB Toy and Hobby Shop, right? Wasn't that what it was called? KB Toy and Hobby Shop? It was like it was in every mall in America. I'll explain to you kids what malls were tomorrow. Damon, I want to say thanks for the content all year. I started off not caring for you much, but over time you've grown on me like good weed. Like a good weed. Okay. Thank you. That's how it works. Didn't like you at first. You turned into my go-to show. I got that email or that phone call every single day over 18 years on the air. So thank you very much, KB. I'm glad you're here. And it's my pleasure to do it. I mean it. I've had a ton of fun, an absolute ton of fun over here on YouTube. And we're just going. We're just getting going. James Jones, season over, time for baseball. Just like becoming a lifelong Niners fan because of my dad, I became the same as a Dodgers fan because of him as well. I hope we can all still be friends. You're out, James. No, I'm just kidding. What an exciting time to be a Dodgers fan. You got the most interesting baseball team maybe ever assembled coming to you this year. So congratulations. It's going to be rough. It's going to be rough watching the Dodgers are about to lap the Giants in every conceivable way. interesting, fun to watch, profitability, global exposure, every single way. The Giants are already 6 laps down on the Dodgers, and pitchers and catchers haven't even reported yet. So keeping up with them is going to be brutal. Brutal, brutal, brutal. Damon, when is the merch store coming? In a while. It's not, the official answer is not soon. Takes a little while to set up, but it'll happen. Thank you for one. We're going to create a demand. By the way, for those of you who didn't catch it, James, who had joined us a few Sports Phone Fridays in a row to tell us about how his father his father did pass, and we got nothing but love for you, James, even though you're a Dodgers fan. And I hope your father is resting in peace. Nathaniel Richards says, after 13 years of marriage, is just flowers for the wife enough? After 13 years of marriage, the fact that she's still getting a buffet is a freaking miracle unto itself. So, yeah, that's enough. I love Jodie Foster, one of my all-time favorites. I agree. The season's True Detective is a little lost in the woods. I'm still watching. 1 episode left, lots to resolve. Like, what's going on in that cave? What's going on in that cave? Why are there so many dead Eskimos or people who are just like walking out into the world? The whole thing started with like all those caribou running off a cliff. What is going on? Who is the dead woman? What is this dead lady that has been awoken? Is she representing an angry Mother Nature? Like, I just feel that the payoff's going to be incredibly unsatisfying, Habes. I'm worried, and I like it. I like it, but I don't love it. No Coke, just Pepsi. Exactly, that's where we are. Or also known as Coke Zero. So there it is. This was a solid show today. It was nice to just hang out. Just the few of us. Just the plus of us. Thank you all for being an incredible audience. Really, everything you've done all year long, it's just been awesome. The support has been tremendous. This is Jorge Luis Stoleo saying, Damon, it is it's not Jorge Soler here. It's Sotelo, finding it difficult to disconnect from the 49ers. They have their hooks in me. Go Panthers, NHL, Yankees. Thanks so much for all your coverage. I'll continue to watch and subscribe. Thank you very much. I'm glad that you're going to ride it out. Like I said, we're not even getting started here. We got so much coming up. I'm very, very excited about it. People keep on asking for that Ray Ratto connection. All I can tell you is I'll keep asking them to come on. We'll see if it ever happens. I do not know. V Lockwood, little super chat here. Just throwing a 10 spot at you at the Ganja jar. That's where it's going to go. Thank you so very, very much. And what else? Thank you, sir. No, thank you, James Jones. Thank you, Betty. Thank you, man. Again, you touched a lot of people's hearts, JJ, by sharing your very intimate situation with your father, and there's a lot of love for you here on the Plus, man. Let's see. Dodgers are winning the World Series this year. Sorry, Giants fantasy. Here's the beautiful thing about baseball. Just because you got the best team on paper doesn't mean much. Now they've thrown. I mean, yeah, they're gonna absolutely be a very good team, but it's the Doyers, man. Unless there's a pandemic, they don't win nothing. I just wanted my boy Shohei Ohtani in the city so bad. Having to root against that guy is going to be hard. I'm not going to do it. By the way, I'm not going to do it. I'm not happy with the Dodgers, but I'm never going to turn on Shohei Ohtani. The guy's the best watch in all sports. God. Albert Kwan says, is Ken Korak no longer with the A's? No, Ken still's doing their radio play-by-play, but the A's did hire the first ever female A chair for their television broadcast. Her name, she comes from Colorado, is Jenny Kavnar. Jenny Kavnar is now the Oakland A's primary play-by-play announcer. She got the Dwayne Kuiper job, and let's see what she does. I'm not familiar with her work, but she is the first woman to ever get the A chair for a Major League Baseball team broadcast. I'm not familiar with her work at all. Thanks, Damon. New to your show. Enjoy the hell out of you. All the best. Back to work. Ricky R., thank you very much. And look, this is where I tell you, it's all time to get back to work. It was awesome hanging out with you today. We had to do like a long just us hanging out on the Plus program, and that's exactly what we did. And it absolutely breaks my heart to tell you that you don't have to go home. You just can't stay here.